Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Simply Swears Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about Josh Allen, and we're going to be asking the question, what happened to Josh Allen? Now, I'll start by saying my early expectations for this season were I predicted that we initially win 6 wins or maybe get 7 wins if we were lucky. But as the season started, I started to realize, okay, the max this team is going to win is 3 to 4 games. And Josh Allen, let me give some relatability. He is my favorite player on the Jaguars, or one of my favorite players, and I have met him. Very nice guy. He was very nice. We took pictures and everything. So I had early expectations for Josh Allen. I predicted that he would go over double digit sacks. I just felt like this season he would be dominant. I don't know why, but I just felt like he'd come back rejuvenated because last season he did have an injury, so he couldn't play all 16 games. I felt like he was coming back with a certain hunger and he was going to come back and just dominate the NFL. I was kind of right, but also I was kind of wrong. Okay, so to start off, I will be saying Josh Allen, if you watch the games, is the king of almost getting a sack. Josh Allen, what I've seen, is the king of almost getting home. So what I commonly see is Josh Allen will beat the offensive lineman, but the quarterback will either scramble or the quarterback will either throw the ball away or he'll complete a pass. Josh Allen is so close. I've seen it so many times, and it's kind of frustrating that Josh Allen will get so close. He'll pressure the quarterback, yes, but he will get so close to getting the sack, and the quarterback will get the ball out. He'll scramble, whatever. So I will talk about what happened in the beginning of the season. The beginning of the season, Josh Allen was doing pretty good. I would say he was doing pretty good. You could feel his impact on the field. But during the middle of the season, he really kicked it up into second gear. I would say specifically around the Seattle game and the Buffalo game. The Seattle games where he recorded the most sacks. He recorded 2 sacks in that one game. And the Buffalo game was the game where he put the NFL on notice. Josh Allen during the Buffalo game was absolutely sensational. It was one of the best performances by a defensive lineman for the season, in my opinion. It's up there with the Max Crosby on Monday Night Football against the Ravens. He was just all over the field. He was such a game wrecker. He made Josh Allen's life miserable. He was tracking Josh Allen down with tackles. He got a sack on him. He almost got a forced fumble. He almost got 2 sacks, but they said it wasn't a sack, but neither here nor there. He almost got a forced fumble on Josh Allen. He was all over the field. He even got an interception. Josh Allen even got an interception. Josh Allen was actually the first player to ever sack the same player and get an interception by the same player as the person. So let me explain that. So Josh Allen sacked Josh Allen. Josh Allen intercepted Josh Allen. That was the first time that ever happened in NFL history. It will go down the history books, and I will never forget it myself. Now, as I mentioned, during the middle of the season, Josh Allen was wrecking havoc. He was, in fact, the first ever Defensive Player of the Year to win MVP, the Nickelodeon MVP award. I know you might not think that's very credible, but I thought it was pretty interesting. So Josh Allen during the middle of the season was just so game changing, and I thought, oh yes, this is going to be the season Josh Allen puts the NFL on notice. I was partially right, as this was the game he put the NFL on notice, but this was not the season he put the NFL on notice. As after this game, he proceeded to go 7 straight weeks without recording a sack, and this was very interesting because him and Dewan Smoot during this time, the beginning and the middle of the season, were just a dynamic duo. If you were watching the games, all you saw was Josh Allen, Smoot, Josh Allen, Smoot, and even Taven Bryan got in on the action a little bit. But if you watch the games, you would notice Josh Allen and Dewan Smoot were a dynamic duo, and they were just both wrecking havoc on the field. Josh Allen, as I mentioned, hasn't recorded a sack since the game with Buffalo. That's 7 straight weeks without recording a sack. Now, I'm not sure what is going on, but what I can say is what I think is going on. During this whole Buffalo to the end of the season, the Jaguars went through some changes as reports started coming out that Urban Meyer was a cancer in the locker room. He was hurting the culture, not helping. And I believe that Josh Allen and the other players on the team sort of given up get they sort of gave up for the season. They just no longer wanted it. And I know Josh Allen, if he wanted to, could put up double digit sacks, but maybe it's the culture, maybe it's the atmosphere in the building that tells him I don't even want to try anymore. And there's no way you could tell me a player as talented as Josh Allen could go 7 straight weeks without getting a sack. As in fact, PFF said he was one of the best pass rushers during that time span. From the middle of the season, he had an 86 PFF rating. If I'm not 86 or 87, it was really high. 85, 86, or 87. It was really high. And as you see, he's tied for most solo tackles, but his sacks have fallen short. He could have easily went for double digit sacks. Easily. He had an 86 or 85, 86, or 87 PFF rating, and he was on pace to have a really good, possibly even Pro Bowl level season, but he just completely fell off after that Urban Meyer mess, and maybe around that Buffalo time after they got that win, because we've been winless ever since. The locker room just gave up on the guy, and they haven't been playing as hard as they really could. Now, I'll be showing you Josh Allen's best season. Josh Allen's best season was his rookie year. 2019, he recorded 10 and a half sacks. He has upped his tackles ever since, and his solo tackles. Everything has been up except quarterback hits and tackle for loss. But that can be attributed to the possibly losing the locker room aspect. Because when your guys don't want to play for you, they when they don't want to play for you, it's they might not have the same drive as they would as if they wanted to. It would be different if they had a coach that inspired them. As I believe, if they had a coach that inspired them, Josh Allen would have easily went for 10 plus sacks. He was easily on pace to do that. And the reason Josh Allen was so great his rookie year is I believe Calais Campbell and Yannick Ngakoue made his life easier. As once they left, I've seen teams focus a little bit more on Josh than they did before. If you have a dominant pass rusher and a dominant man up the middle, it's hard to focus on me. And I think we have a solution to that problem. As you know, the Jaguars have they have a lock on the first and second pick. If we win against the Colts, we'll have the second pick, unless the Lions win too, but I doubt they're going to win. If we get a win against the Colts, we will have the second pick. But if we get a loss against the Colts, we lock for the first pick. There are two generational pass rushers coming out this year, but they're very different. Kayvon Thibodeau and Aiden Hutchinson. Kayvon Thibodeau is very raw. Well, he's not very raw, but he is somewhat raw. But he's a physical specimen. He's a freak. Everyone has known about Kayvon Thibodeau since he was coming out of high school. And Aiden Hutchinson, he has been dominating these last few college weeks. And unfortunately, during the playoffs, he was non-existent. He didn't make any impact on the game. So that does kind of concern me a little bit, but it's not a major concern. As I do feel like if the Jaguars were able to get Kayvon Thibodeau or Aiden Hutchinson, I don't know what they're going to do with the pick, but if they were to get any of those two players, it would make Josh Allen's life easier. Now, I do believe Josh Allen, once we get a right coach and the right culture in, will start to thrive and he will start to eat and he'll start to put up more numbers. But until that's done, I don't think Josh Allen will be putting up numbers anytime soon. Hopefully, in the future, we get the right coach and set the right culture, but Jaguar fans will have to see that for the future. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Simply Sports Talk signing out. Bye.